Guys, I am loving this TBR. This is so good. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where my mug chooses my TBR, and this time we're choosing for August. Yeah, we're choosing for August. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about books that I read in July. I had maybe 4 or 5 books that I picked last month, and I didn't get through as many as I had hoped. I had kind of carried a book from June into July, which was The Wicked King, which I did read, and I think I rated it the same as the first one, which was like a 3, maybe a 3.5. It just... Again, it kind of took a while to kind of get into what the actual plot was. I think it was like a little bit more entertaining than the first one and like had a bit more of a plot, but it still was just a little bit like, what even is this about? What's the point of it? And then same as the first book, it then also had a massive twist at the end that when I finished I was like, oh, well now I need to read the next one too, but I'm not necessarily like, oh my gosh, like I want more. It's more that like I just want to know what happens, and I do want to read it to find out because I could just Google it, but I want to read the third one. I don't know if I'll like try and work it into this month. I might kind of like take a little break from it. Yeah, so that book did carry from June into July, and so I didn't get through as many of my July picks as I would have liked. But Wicked King, yeah, I don't know, I don't really have that much to say it because you kind of need to know the context of the first one for me to like properly talk about it. But basically the main thing that's keeping me in is romance, and there's like the tiniest amount, and I'm also like, I don't actually fully know if I meant to want these two together or not because stuff keeps happening. Anyway, so that was Wicked King. I also throughout this month have been reading this book, which is Single, Dating, Engaged and Married, which is a Christian living kind of book talking about the process of going from single, like looking at who you want to date, to then dating them, to then okay, do you want to get engaged, what does engagement look like, and then marriage, but from a Christian perspective. I'm not finished, I'm most of the way through. I'm into the engaged part, and so I've kind of slowed down a little because single and dating is like, single is where I'm currently at, dating is where I'm looking to move into hopefully soon, and then engaged I'm just like not there yet. And so I'm starting to kind of get to where like it'll still be helpful, I'm sure, and like good to kind of like keep in mind for when I'm in a relationship and that sort of thing, but for now it's like not super relevant to my life, so I'm kind of just taking it chill. But yeah, I've mostly read it, so I'm like, I think I'll just include it in my July reads. That was that. I then, guys, you'll be so proud of me, I finally read the Bookbinder of Jericho. Oh, I think this is like the 3rd time it's been in a monthly TBR, and I've only been doing these since April, and this has been on my TBR for a few years because my friend Michelle bought it for me a few years ago, and I finally read it, and I picked it as my book that I was intimidated by. Shah was shocked to find that out, and I think the reason I was intimidated was Dictionary of Lost Words by the same author had quite a slow start to it because it followed Esme, the main character, from when she was a child through her like pre-teen years, her teenage years, then into young adulthood, and so I felt like it just kind of took a while to get into the main plot, but all of that obviously was still important. And so I just remember it had kind of a slow start and then a huge emotional finish, and so I was just kind of like, gosh, am I ready for that again? But this one was very different. It just jumps straight into Peggy, where she's at in life. She's a young adult, she's like in her early 20s, and she works for a bookbindery, like collecting papers, piecing books together. They like sew the covers, bind them in leather and all that kind of stuff. So it was very much a love letter to books and how they kind of originated in their creation. And as she works in the bindery, she would like sometimes if a page was like messed up or folded wrong and then you couldn't put it in a book, she would just like kind of swipe it and take it home, and like she just had such a love for books and for learning and education and stuff, and so it was quite beautiful. I gave it a 3.5. I think just because it did take me a while, like kind of every time I was reading it I would just read a tiny little bit and then go to bed, and I wasn't necessarily hanging out to like read the next bit. Like I kind of was just reading it and I was enjoying it. It wasn't a drag, but I just wasn't like, oh, you know. It was very beautiful book, and she basically worked in the bindery, which is like not the life she wants for herself. She wants to go and study, she wants to be a college student, but she never finished school and stuff, so she feels like she's missed out on all these opportunities in life. And she also has this sister who she feels like really needs her care and stuff, and so she kind of like resents her sister a little bit because she's like, well, you're holding me back, but like I would never just leave you. And so it kind of just, yeah, is her discovering where her passion lies and the fact that she can trust trust her sister and like kind of coach her in life so that she can stand on her own feet and like all that kind of stuff. So it was very beautiful. I did really enjoy it, and I am just glad that it can be finally ticked off from my TBR, Bookbinder of Jericho. And then I very quickly, after finishing that, I finished that on maybe like the 24th or 25th. It's now the 31st. And actually no, I was sick the other day, so I had a day off and I read like the whole second half of it just so I could get it done. And then in like 2 days, I read Emma of 83rd Street, which was quite disappointed, guys. Quite disappointed. I gave it a 2.75, and you may think that's an odd rating, and it was because I didn't want to like bump it down to 2.5 because some other books that I read that were 2.5 I was like really dragging myself through, but this was pretty easy to just read fast. Yeah, there was enough in it that was keeping me engaged, and like I said, I read it very quickly too, but I just think like I didn't like dislike it as much as some that I gave 2.5, but then it also just wasn't worth a 3, and so 2.75 is the rating that it got. It basically is about Emma. She has graduated college and she's going into her masters, and she's going into something that like is kind of a surprise to people around her, and they kind of just all, I think she's just like a bit of a dreamer. She's grown up in a really wealthy family in New York, so she's kind of just been able to do whatever she's wanted in terms of pursuits in life, and so people kind of just like, oh, it's just like another one of her whims and stuff, but she's like, no, I want to prove to myself and to others that like I can do this and I can achieve this thing I'm setting out for. But it felt a little like Clueless, actually quite a lot like Clueless, which is Clueless based on a Shakespeare at all? Because I know the other books, or is it a Jane Austen? Because I know the other books that come after this, it's like a bit of an interconnected standalone series. I think they're based on Jane Austen things, so maybe it is. Anyway, someone let me know in the comments if Clueless is based on an old thing. Anyway, it felt a lot like Clueless in that she was just like this rich girl. She gets this new friend and treats her a little bit like she's a new project, but like not in a horrible way. She like genuinely accepts her as a friend, but it's just like, oh my gosh, wear all my clothes, get your hair done, like all this stuff. And the guy that is her neighbor, they've grown up their whole lives together, and it's clear that they're gonna fall in love with each other. I don't know, it wasn't great. It wasn't greatly executed. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of substance outside of their dynamic as friends than to maybe more. And then there was also like this circumstance in there where someone was like, this guy came onto a girl and it was not wanted, and he kind of like pushed it a little bit and she punched him in the face and whatever, which was like not a nice scene obviously, but then like later on in the book one of the other characters was like, oh my gosh, like don't even worry about it, that's like hilarious to look back on now. And I was like, no, that's not hilarious to look back on, that was sexual harassment. So it was just kind of like not executed very well. So it didn't get a very high rating. I did read it very quick, and I think that's just because I was like tired after work and just would sit and read, and I wanted to get it done before the end of the month, because one of the books that I will be taking into August with me is our book club book, which is The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. Anyway, we have book club in a week, and so I was like, okay, I need to just get another book out of the way so that I can start on that one, because I feel like it'll take me a little bit to read it and I have a week to read it. So that brings us to our August TBR. Yeah, pretty much these books I'll be starting like after August 7th. Unless I finish Giver of Stars early, but I just don't think I will. So I'm going to be choosing a few and we'll see what we get to. There is one book that I would really love to fit into a prompt, and that is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, because I have read this but I haven't read it since like 2013. It's been years and years since I read it, and my friends and I, in our little Bible study that we do every Saturday, we're currently doing Hosea, and that, if you don't know, is Redeeming Love is based on this book of Hosea, and Hosea who married a prostitute, and like she runs away from him, he goes and gets her, all this stuff. Like, she doesn't run away from him because he's horrible, he's the most beautiful man. She runs away because she just like kind of can't deal. Anyway, I don't need to go into that, but I really want to read Redeeming Love this month, so I'm really hoping that a prompt will suit that. And so without further ado, it is time to, is it a do or a do? Anyway, without further delay, we are going to choose our TBR prompt. So prompt number 1. Oh, okay. Guys, you'll never guess what this prompt is. Can you read it? I don't even know if you can. I want you to read it without me saying it. a Christian fiction book. Wow, this has never worked out so perfectly. Okay, well, let me get it. Okay, so I have a little bit of a choice to make, and that is because I have 2 copies of this book. One I got from like, I think it was a Lifeline book fair or something, and this is kind of typical of what's sold these days. And it is little, and I feel like nice and portable and whatever. But then the other one that I have is this, which isn't that just so 90s? Oh my gosh, look at the picture of Francine Rivers. That is just so of the time. Wait, when did this come out? Oh. Guys, this came out in the year. Wow. I didn't mean to get emotional about this, but I'm due for my period. But anyway, this looks like it was published in 1997, which is my birth year. And this, the reason I have this copy and why I would want to read this one is because this is my mum's copy, and my mum passed away years ago. But it's even like, wow, she had in it copy number 1 and then her name. Look at how, it's fine if you see this phone number, it's not active, but look at how beautiful her handwriting was. Wow. Yeah, so I took hold of this when we were moving house one time, and I was like, oh, I would love mum's copy of this. And it's like so old school and beautiful. Wow, I didn't realize that was published in my birth year. That is so special. Because the thing is, I'm like, do I want to read it like this, or do I want to just read it and not worry about it? I think, oh, I don't know. Wow, the dedication in it says, to those who hurt and hunger. That's beautiful. Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. Totally. Oh, guys, I don't know. I think it would be really special to read this, but then I also think maybe I'll just read this, and then if a friend of mine wants to read it, I'll just give them this copy and I'll switch to reading this. Just because I've read a couple of like big books and I want to read a little one. Yeah, okay, I'm locking in this one. Redeeming Love for my Christian fiction book. This is honestly perfect. It couldn't have gone better than that. Isn't that just so beautiful? Anyway, I'll leave that there for now. Okay, on to our second prompt. Gosh, this is taking longer than I anticipated. Whoopsie. Okay. Oh, I picked up 2. Oh, which one's better? Which one's better? Right or left? Tell me, right or left? Okay, I'm going left. Oh. Ooh, a 5-star prediction. Whoa. Ooh, guys, this is also perfect because if you watched my Dimmicks video, I just got 2 new books, and both of them I think will be 5-star predictions. Okay. Broken Country and Ready or Not. I think, is there anything else I want to add to this? No, I'm gonna decide between these 2. Oh, guys, this is so perfect. Oh, okay, Broken Country or Ready or Not. Ooh, okay, Francine Rivers, Redeeming Love's gonna be a little bit of a heavy one. I think this one will be a little intense too, and then that one's just gonna be a fun light romance. Oh! I'm like trying to think what I have coming up and what I could just like take away with me and enjoy, because I'm going away in a couple weeks. Oh, and okay, I am about to read Giver of Stars, which I've never read JoJo before, and so I'm a little bit like, oh, okay, well, I love this. Okay, I'm going to pick Ready or Not, because I think Redeeming Love and Giver of Stars will be a little bit more of the, like, I don't know, women's literature themes, and then this will hopefully just be like a little fun thing. But I also love Cara Bastone often puts like an emotional element in, and I loved her last 2 books, and so I feel like this is a 5-star prediction for me. People that I follow who have read it, loved it, love her, so I'm going to pick Ready or Not, and I'm gonna keep this here just in case another prompt fits that. Okay, 5-star prediction. Okay, book number 3. Book number 3. Also, guys, I'm unsure if I put a prompt in here for reading a book on my Kindle, but I really hope that I did, because I miss my Kindle a little bit. Feels like unlimited choice of what I could read on it, but I kind of miss it. Anyway, this is prompt number 3. Oh, a book that has an adaptation. Okay. Oh, that could be a lot of them. Adaptation. adaptation. I have like a shelf up the top that also has my books on it, and I always forget to think about them. I mean, obviously I got Francine Rivers, Redeeming Love from up there, but I always forget about the options. Ooh, are any of Kristen Hanna ones? Any Kristen Hanna books getting adaptations? I'm gonna Google that actually, because I wouldn't mind reading it. Kristen Hanna movie adaptations. Oh, great. Okay, but is it happening? Oh, okay, The Nightingale, guys. Let me get it. This book is getting, oh, what's that? Oh, I also bought this at an op shop, and we've got some bookmarks. The Snow Queen and Wicked. No, Wizard of Oz. Love those little bookmarks. I'm probably gonna chuck them out as soon as this is finished. The Nightingale is getting made into a movie, and this is a book set in World War II, and it follows two sisters, and Dakota Fanning and Elle Fanning are going to be playing the sisters. So I wanted to make sure it was like actually happening and there was a cast attached, because I mean, this thing says that 3 other ones of hers have been like, they've acquired the rights, but they're not fully in production yet. But this is set to come out in March as a movie. So I feel like reading it now is like a great gap between reading it and then the movie coming out. I feel like I don't really love to like read things right before the adaptation, because then it's like too fresh in my mind and I judge the adaptation too much. But I think that, yeah, reading this for August and then the movie coming out in March will be perfect. And people love this book. Oh, guys, I am loving this TBR. This is so good. Okay, so I have these 3 and I have Giver of Stars. I am going to choose one more, but I don't know if I'll get to all of these because, yeah, okay, and I am glad that I chose that because Nightingale will be a heavy hitter as well. Okay, last but not least, could even be the first one I end up reading. Oh, dropped it. Okay. Okay. Oh, someone with a unique career. Okay, so that is that the character has a unique career. Ooh. This is so good. Okay, another book that I have been wanting to read, that I've been like trying to fit into a prompt. I've been trying to fit into a prompt, and I was hoping for like maybe a book set in the season you're in, because the cover is very wintry and we're in winter right now. But it is this, Not If I Save You First by Ali Carter, because this will just be a fun, quick, easy read. It's YA, and the girl, her dad is a Secret Service agent for, I guess I'm the president. You're a Secret Service agent for the president. And she is the daughter of him. And so she like is getting swept up in that. So I feel like maybe it's not her like career, but she's being tasked with finding the president's son. I feel like that's interesting. Okay, let me just see if there's another one I could fit in this category. Interesting career. Oh, guys, if only I had the second Emily Wilde book, because she researches fairies for a living, and that's an interesting career, but I don't have the second one. I just don't think... Is there anything up there that counts as that? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna lock this in. Maybe next time I'll have a better book selection for that. Maybe next time I'll have Emily Wilde. But that is our last and final pick. These are our books for August. And also, can you tell that's a really old book? Kind of gross, but anyway, that is okay. We love secondhand books around here. Oh, also, I'm probably gonna take this to a street library and just kind of give it away. So if anyone wants to read it before I do that, just let me know, but like I kind of doubt you will after my review of it. Anyway, these are our books for August. We have my book club book, Giver of Stars. We then have a Christian fiction book, Redeeming Love. We have a 5-star prediction, Ready or Not. We have one that has an adaptation, which is in the works, and that is The Nightingale. And then someone with an interesting career, which is Not If I Save You First. I am very, very excited for this TBR. I want you all to know I am so extremely excited. Also, look how many prompts I don't have. I'm really curious. Maybe I'll get Abby to look through them and see if there's a Kindle one in there, because I really want there to be. I also am pretty sure I put a prompt in there that's like a friend chooses the book. Haven't come across that yet. So yeah, thanks for joining. on another video where my mug chooses my TBR. I'm so excited to read all of these, and I will see you in the next video. Maybe I'll make a reading vlog. It's been a while since I've done one of those, and I feel like people might want to know about some of these books. So maybe I'll do a reading vlog and just track my progress with them. Very excited for August, and yeah, I'll see. Oh, I'm also in the process of doing my book journal, which I'm quite proud of myself for because I got really behind on July, but I'm doing my August spread at the moment and it's looking really cute. So you might end up seeing that on Instagram if you follow me over there. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you feel so inclined, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about my channel. Just all those things that help this grow, you know? Anyway, I hate doing that, but it's kind of needed. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. God bless you. Bye.